Hey, what's up? This is The Rock. Smash that free like button if you agree that storylines in pro wrestling are more important than just having pointless, meaningless TV matches just for the hell of it that don't mean anything.
You see, people need to realize that Cody Rhodes is being booked like most Attitude Era World Champions. Because back in that era, World Champions were not wrestling every week. They were telling storylines every week. They were not on a card wrestling mid-carders every week. They were telling storylines. That's how Cody Rhodes is being booked. He's being booked like an Attitude Era World Champion. Once again, things just fly over people's heads when it comes to Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, right? I used to be a huge fan of Roman Reigns. I was a fan of his part-time schedule until it got egregious. Do you know what a part-time schedule is? A part-time schedule is like Brock Lesnar, Edge, CM Junk. That's what that is. But why do people think if you are not on a show, you ain't wrestling every week, that's called being part-time? No, that's fucking dumb. Cody Rhodes is showing up every week. Every Friday, he's on a show. So what is your definition of being part-time? It's not all about the fake wrestling. All right, so last night, Dane Priest, he wrestled Braun Strowman in that mid-card. Okay, did you care? And do you respect him more? No, you don't. I just answered your fucking question for you. Because no, you don't respect him any more than your ass do now. He wrestled Braun Strowman in that mid-card. Sami Zayn and Dragunov, they main evented over Dane Priest. So him being a fucking fighting champion, does that make you respect him more? No. Actually, that devalues him. Why is the IC Championship main eventing Raw, but not the World Champion? Damn. He is the Puerto Rican Swerve. That's what he is. Dane Priest is the Puerto Rican Swerve of the World Wrestling Federation. It's like, here's what I mean about my logic flies over your heads. I never cared about Roman Reigns wrestling every week. I never cared about him having TV matches. I never complained about that. My main complaint was he was at home doing nothing while the Bloodline was pushing his storylines. That's what I hated. That was getting old. If Roman Reigns had the same schedule as Cody Rhodes, I would still be a fan of Roman. Okay, if Roman was such a great champion, right? Let's talk about last year. This year was a fucking washout. Last year. How come SmackDown never had any sellouts last year? That's weird. Fun fact, ever since WrestleMania 40, SmackDown has sold out every motherfucking week with Cody Rhodes as the world champion. How come Roman can't say that or take credit for it? That did not happen last year at SmackDown. They had no sellouts. I would say tarps. That shit was being tarped out with Roman Reigns as the world champion because he's boring. He got boring. His act got stale. The Bloodline got stale. Ever since Jay and Sammy left, his faction got fucking stale, and he got stale because of it. But the fact of the matter is, Cody Rhodes shows up every week, and the crowd cheers for him. So who are these Roman Reigns BBC nuthuggers that are saying Cody Rhodes is not having any TV matches? Bitch, you are gonna hate Cody Rhodes whether he wrestles on TV or not, so who gives a fuck? Dane Priest wrestled on TV last night. Did you care? Do you care? No, you do not. We are talking about Rhea Ripley and Dirty Ass Dom and Liv Morgan. We not talking about fucking Dane Priest wrestling Braun Strowman. That does not make you respect him any less or any more, bitch. So, the point I'm trying to make is, Cody is telling storylines. That's what he's doing. That's beyond wrestling. That's better than fucking wrestling. Wrestling means nothing. Okay, here's why Cody Rhodes is this era's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Here's why. Fun fact, Stone Cold Steve Austin had the same schedule as Cody Rhodes back in the late 90s and in his whole entire prime. After 1998, Stone Cold Steve Austin had the same schedule as Cody Rhodes. We hardly ever saw Stone Cold wrestle on Raw every week. Most of the time, Stone Cold was telling stories. He was cutting promos. That's what he was doing. You know why? Why is Dame Priest wrestling mid-card guys, right, with no upside? Braun Strowman has no upside. He's never going to be a world champion ever again. He has no upside. Okay, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he used to say no to mid-card guys that he did not want to wrestle. Which means, yeah, Stone Cold was not wrestling every week, but he was in storylines. That's why the ratings were high as shit. Nobody cared about him wrestling. We cared about him being embalmed by Taker. That's what we cared about. We cared about The Rock, Rocky Maivia, tossing Stone Cold off the fucking bridge. That's what we cared about. We didn't care about him wrestling mid-card guys, right? For example, they tried to book him against Jeff Jarrett. He said no. They tried to book him against Billy Gunn. He said no. That's my point. He said no. He only wanted to wrestle top guys or guys with upside. He did not want to wrestle jobbers. He did not want to wrestle mid-card guys just for the fuck of it. So in hindsight, Stone Cold had the same schedule as Cody Rhodes. He did not wrestle every week all that often. And when he did wrestle, it was tag team matches. That's the only time we saw him wrestle, was really tag team matches or a rare one-on-one match with a upper mid-card guy, but he was not wrestling mid-card guys. He was not. Val Venis, but Val Venis was being pushed at that time. Val Venis, they was trying to change up his character at that time. So that's why he wrestled with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Val Venis could wrestle his fucking ass off. But Val Venis had upside. That's why Stone Cold agreed to wrestle him. He had upside. So that was different. But most of the time, you was not seeing Stone Cold wrestling X-Pac, okay? You was not seeing that. You was not seeing Stone Cold versus Road Dogg, okay? You was not seeing that. If he did have a match with Pac and Road Dogg, it was a tag team match, not a one-on-one match. It was rare. That's Cody Rhodes. That devalues Cody Rhodes if he was to wrestle a mid-card guy just for the fuck of it. Nobody cares, man. Okay, do you care that Swerve Scott is a fighting champion? No, you do not care. You just want to complain just to complain. Being a fighting champion does not pay off. But to talk more about Roman Reigns, I liked his schedule, but I turned on him after his last schedule, where, bro, he was not showing up to the fucking show. I'm like, bro, you are in a feud with LA Knight. Show up. Like, why is Paul Heyman talking for you? Why is Solo and Jimmy fighting your battles? Like, what the fuck? Tell this story so people can care. They had, what, maybe one promo back and forth, or two, or one, but that was at the contract signing, so that don't count. Like, that was a boring feud that did nothing for LA cosplay. At least Cody Rhodes is putting people over. Like, okay, by your logic, has it harmed Solo and Jacob in the bloodline that Cody Rhodes does not wrestle every week? Has that harmed the bloodline by your logic? No. He's telling storylines. That's why SmackDown has been sold out for months. The last 3 months, SmackDown has been sold out with Cody Rhodes as the world champion showing up every week. If you are a ticket buyer, that's all you ask for. I want to see Cody Rhodes. I don't care if he wrestles or not. A real fan just wants to see Cody Rhodes. So, my whole entire point is, he has a Stone Cold Steve Austin-like schedule. Like, it's crazy how his schedule just flew over your heads during the Attitude Era. Stone Cold was not wrestling every week. Let's talk about the invasion angle. When Stone Cold Steve Austin was the leader of the Alliance. Okay, Stone Cold was hardly ever wrestling. Listen, that era, the WCW invasion angle, bro, he was mostly cutting promos. That's what he was doing. He was mostly cutting promos. He was telling storylines with Taz, Kurt Angle, etc. He was not wrestling mid-card guys on Raw. No, he was mostly backstage cutting promos or cutting angles. That's what he was doing. That's what Cody Rhodes is doing. Hence, why Triple H is the man in charge. He knows how to book world champions. He is booking Cody Rhodes like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Make him a special attraction. Don't make him wrestle random mid-card guys. You gotta treat him like he's fucking special. That's why Stone Cold was special. He was drawing numbers. He was not wrestling every week, but he showed up every week. That's what we asked for. Why do people mix up showing up, having random matches every week as a world champion? Because you think Swerve Scott sucks. You think Dame Priest sucks. Well, those guys wrestle every week as world champion. And it does not make you respect them any less or any more. So shut the fuck up. Like, you people don't know what wrestling is, man. Cody Rhodes, his schedule, that's called a world champion schedule. That's called a attitude era schedule. Tell more stories, wrestle less. So people can be invested in that match when it happens. Now, everybody wants to see Solo with Cody Rhodes. Look back at the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He did not wrestle every week because he had a bad neck. He had bad knees. So he had to tell storylines. This has been confirmed by Bruce Pritchard, a guy who booked Stone Cold Steve Austin. The moment that prick, Owen Hart, fucking broke his neck, they had to make Stone Cold part-time. Facts. No opinions. That's facts. That's what Bruce Pritchard said. He booked that era. He said the moment Stone Cold had a broken neck, they had to book him part-time and he couldn't wrestle every week. But last time I checked, Raw was still drawing numbers. Why? Because, yes, Austin was injured, right? Stone Cold had a bad neck, but he still showed up every week to tell storylines. That's why people were still watching. Yes, he was not wrestling, but he was showing up. As a kid, that's what I cared about. I don't care about him wrestling jobbers. I care about him shooting storylines. That's what matters most. Not matches. Who gives a fuck if Cody Rhodes is not wrestling pointless TV matches? Nobody gives a fuck in that audience. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Okay? Nobody does, man. All we want to see is Cody Rhodes versus the Bloodline. Whether he is in a suit or gear, nobody cares. We just want to see him. That's what wrestling is. That's what made it special back in the day. We didn't care about Stone Cold not having matches every week. We just cared about seeing him. We just cared about him having storylines with The Rock, Kane, Vince. Like, bro, he was fighting Vince, right? He was fighting Vince McMahon. We didn't care about him wrestling. We just want to see Stone Cold beat the shit out of Vince McMahon. That's all we cared about as fans. So no, but you cannot use the whole, Cody Rhodes, he's not having any TV matches. So, he's showing up though. He's showing up and he's telling storylines, and SmackDown is sold out because of it. Every week, SmackDown is sold out. How come you don't bring that up? As world champion, SmackDown has been sold out. Every week, every city, every state is sold out. Why? People want to see Cody Rhodes. That's all that matters. So yes, right now, he has the same schedule as Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that's why he's drawing numbers. That's why he's still special. That's why the crowd cheers for him, because he shows up. You ain't gotta wrestle, but at least show your fucking face. That's all I'm saying, and I'm done.